Half square triangles, do you really struggle with them? Do you find them really time consuming to square up? And do you find it hard to get them accurate? Well, I found a product that's called the Clearly Perfect Slotted Trimmers that claim to help you cut them accurately and perfect every single time. Let's take a closer look and see what we think. So it comes with 2 rulers and the instructions. So you'll see here on the back, this is like a sticky, I would call it a masking tape. It's just a sticky paper to protect the ruler so that when it comes to you, it's completely new and not scratched. So what you're meant to do is peel this off, and you can see I've already done that to this one. So I'm not going to worry about that right now, but that's what you're meant to do. Peel that off so you can see through your ruler when we're using it to line up our stitches with the different lines on the ruler. Now, this one's called Trimmer A and this one is Trimmer B. So Trimmer A cuts our half square triangles with a 1/2 inch increment. So we've got 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5 inches. So that's the size that we can cut our half square triangles at. And Trimmer B is with the whole number. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches. So in total, we can cut up to 11 different sizes. Now that's one of the advantages of these Clearly Perfect Slotted Trimmers, is to do that. Usually if you were going to use a square ruler, you would need every single size. So this means you're just using 2 rulers to get the 11 different sizes. So that's a pro for these rulers. So we can go all the way up from 1.5 inches to 6.5 inches. So that's really handy. And then you'll notice there's little slotted bits here. Well, that's to cut off our dog ears. Now, they add that that's a plus. It says plus, it removes the dog ears. But in reality, if we were using a square or if we were just using a regular ruler, we would be cutting them off anyway. So I just think that's something that needed to be there. I don't see that as an advantage of using this ruler. So I know that might sound a bit harsh, but that's just the truth. Let's take a look inside here. It says easy, efficient, and accurate. So these are the instructions. It just says place the dashed line of the desired cut size on the seam line of an unpressed half square triangle. With the rotary cutter, trim the 2 sides. Keep the trimmer in place and trim the dog ears using the edge slots on each side that align with the chosen size. So how about we give that a go? Just to note, it says additional trimming. You can also cut 1/4 square triangles and 3-piece triangle squares. You can also cut triangles like this. Let me think. I have seen quilts that do have that design where you actually need triangles. So I think that could be handy if you've got a quilt that needs them. But anyway, let's give these trimmers a go. So I've got my unpressed half square triangle here, and I'll just open it up to show you. I've got the longer edge facing me, and now I'm going to take my trimmer. I want to trim it at 3.5 inches. So I'm going to find my 3.5 inch mark there and place that dash line on top of my stitches. Now, what I've found for me is that when I cut it like this, when I've got that dash line perfectly on top of those stitches and trim it now, it actually ends up too small. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if I happen to have a set of rulers that are just slightly off, but this is what I've found. So what I would suggest is that you do a sample run if you do plan on buying these, to check where you should be placing that dash line on those stitches. And for me, it is literally just above. And I found this true when I did the 3.5, the 2.5, and the 1.5. So please just do double check before you go cutting those half square triangles. Now I've got that dash line right on top of my stitches. I'm just going to press down firmly, take my cutter, cut along that side, cut along this side, and I'm just holding down firmly so it's not moving. Just going to bring it back around and do those little slots just to cut off those dog's ears, remember. And on that side. Now you don't actually need a rotating mat. I just think I'm being a bit of a brat because now I have one. I feel like I can't live without it. It really is helpful. So there we have it. That's trimmed and that looks great, right? But what we need to do now is set those stitches, finger press it open, press it and measure it. So let me just go and press it and I'll be right back. So I've got my half square triangle nicely pressed and I've got a 3.5 inch squared ruler here. Now if we didn't have the Clearly Perfect slotted trimmers, this would have been one of our options to square up our half square triangles. We would have placed this diagonal line on our seam and we would have trimmed all 4 sides. It takes a lot longer. But now I'm just going to use it to measure my half square triangle to make sure that was accurate. And that's right on top and that looks absolutely perfect to me. Now don't forget, I did place that dash line just above my stitches, but that's created a perfect 3.5 inch half square triangle for me. So there we have our Clearly Perfect slotted trimmers. Now my top tip would be, if you're going to get them, is do make that sample and check where you should have that dash line with your stitches on your set of rulers. And then once you've worked that out, I would take the instructions and just write a little note so that you don't forget, especially if you come back to use them in like a month's time. Now, who do I think they're for? I think they're for someone that needs to make a lot of half square triangles. For example, I've got a quilt called the Ribbon Star quilt, which is almost completely made out of half square triangles. I'll put a link above if you'd like to check it out. I think they're also perfect for someone that really struggles getting their half square triangles accurate. I'm really excited that this month I've been selected to be one of Missouri Star Quilt Company's affiliates, and what that means for you is that if you purchase anything via my link, and I'll put it down in the description, you save 15% off your entire order, so it's a great time to buy your trimmers, plus anything else you've got your eye on. Now, if you'd like me to review another product, please leave a comment and let me know. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.